Now we're recording.
Oh, I was talking about before you guys got here. Like the biggest stressor for me in like doing comedy is the constant messages from people asking, especially because I do a lot of road shows. So like you'll meet somebody and then they'll like, for whatever reason, people will think I can like get them in places, and I'm like, bitch, I'm trying to get myself booked, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like I'll always vouch for people that I like, but sometimes it's like the arrogance of people that I've never met to hound me and think that I'm going to help them out with spots.
Do you think it comes from desperation, entitlement?
I think a lot of people have like an unhealthy idea about what the grind is, and they think that the grind is just like, I also think that they don't see other people as like real people sometimes, and they're just like
an obstacle to my
yeah
success.
yeah
Sure.
It's just like she's somebody that runs a show, and I don't know what they think, but yeah, there was this one guy that was messaging me incessantly on Instagram, and for whatever reason, I think I was out of town or I was having like a really bad week, and I get a lot of messages. It's not like I'm just like ignoring that one person, but it's like I'll go to my Instagram and I'll have like fucking like 30 messages, and I'm like, fuck, I just can't even start going through these. And he was like messaging me so much, and then I opened it and I read them all, and I meant to respond, but I didn't. And then he had someone that I knew personally text me and tell me to get back to him. And so then I had to go and be like, hey man, like I don't really have anything I can get you right now. Like I'm really sorry. And then for whatever reason, he thought that I had booked him on a show when I was, and he, I don't know how he could have thought that, because I reread the messages pretty carefully, and I was like, we don't really have any spots right now for you. Like I'll throw your name out there, but like I really can't do anything for you. And then he sent me this message and was like, oh, something came up, I actually can't do your show, I'm really sorry. And I was like, you were never on it.
Yeah.
I was like,
maybe he's playing some 3D chess.
I don't know. Like I seriously was like, I remember reading it and being like, great.
Yeah, it's totally fine. Maybe next time.
Yeah, and then there was, oh god, I'm really talking shit right now.
Whatever you feel comfortable with.
This is so there was one guy where it's like sometimes it blows my mind when people like are doing stand-up and still like don't know how to just like send a submission, because it'll just like, this one guy was like, hey, this is some tea I'm about to spill. He was like, hey Claire, so and so told me to message you about a show you run, and the person that they said is like a very close friend of mine. And I responded and was like, oh yeah, like, do you mind sending me a submission clip so I can share with like the other producers for the show you're talking about? And he sent me a 30-second clip of him doing crowd work. And I watched it and I was like, that's weird. Like, does he not know what a submission clip is? So then I like screenshot our conversation and sent it to my good friend and was like, hey, like this guy that you told to message me, like, what's his deal? Like, is he good? Like, should I give him a guest spot, real spot? And he was like, I do not know him. I never told him to message you. I was like, whoa. So then I messaged that guy and was like, so how do you know so-and-so?
Ooh, what did they say?
And they were like, oh, yeah, he comes to
such and such.
Yeah, he comes to such and such city all the time. And I was like, and then I just never responded.
This game is grimy.
I know, but I was like, did you think I wouldn't like find out that you're lying? Like, you're blatantly lying? What
is it about? And I do want to get into your more classically trained stuff. I'm really excited about that. But just to start off with comedy, what do you think it is about? I'm gonna say stand up specifically, but it feels like the entertainment industry in general. What do you think it is about that attracts that type of?
Oh yeah.
I don't, you know, like, I don't know if you have an opinion. My opinion of that is, I guess, the love of attention.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's people who love their craft and like to build something cool and show people, and then there's people that just really want attention.
Yeah.
But that's.
Yeah, there's like something missing inside of them.
Did you, when you first started stand up, how long you been doing stand up?
Okay, it's such a complicated question because of the pandemic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I started doing stand-up in like sketch and improv spaces a little bit before COVID, but I'd never done stand-up in like I'd never gone to a comedy club, like a stand-up club or anything like that until things opened up after COVID, so in 2021. But for a few months before COVID, like, I would do it opening for, like, the Chucklehead improv team, you know, stuff like that. But when I look back on what I was doing in those spaces, like, no shade to sketch or improv, I love sketch and improv, but it's like, it's just such a different world that I wasn't really doing what I consider now to be stand-up, you know?
Yeah, there's a different vibe to sketch and improv.
So I feel like, in my mind, when I started going to, like, real, like, open mics, and, like, in 2021, when things opened up, it was like maybe March or April, I started going to the Comedy Bar open mic, like, every week, and that's when I was like, oh,
this is
like a punchline. Like,
right.
That's when I feel like I started.
Right. Okay.
When did you start?
Oh, it's been like 8 years.
Whoa.
Yeah,
when did you move here?
I moved here August of 2021.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So we probably were, like, you know,
around a little bit. I moved out here I'm from California, from Riverside, California, and
did you move here for stand-up?
I compartmentalize it. Part of it was for stand-up, and part of it was for my own sanity and mental health. Where to even begin with that? I grew up in a situation that was pretty fucked up. In retrospect, I grew up in pretty much an all-white area, very cop-heavy area, and dealt with a lot of, like, a shocking amount of racism for people. And my family wasn't exactly, I don't want to say abusive, because they weren't, like, physically abusive, but they weren't exactly supportive.
Yeah.
And I just struggled. I struggled with myself, with understanding who I was, with happiness. And then when quarantine hit, and I started doing stand-up seriously around 2015-16. And then when quarantine hit and everything chilled out was when I took a second for myself, and I kind of reassessed, and I just felt like I needed a big change. I didn't want to be a townie. I didn't want to be that guy that stayed in the same place forever.
Wow.
You know, that's the summary of it. There's a lot of...
Well, that's really cool that you, like, realized that and did that for yourself, you know?
I think...
That takes a lot to, like, you know...
It took a fucking pandemic. I don't think you would have liked me if you met me pre-pandemic, to be honest with you. Like the guy.
How do you know I like you now? I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I have so much anxiety. No.
I think you're so great. I really like you a lot.
Thank you. Vice versa. No, the type of guys you were describing. I think I was the type of guy. Even when I look back to that question I just asked, it was a rhetorical question for me to say to myself. Like, I think I was the type of guy who thought, I loved the art, but I thought I could game the system almost, or I could just muscle my way through. And then I've taken a lot of time to reflect on that and realize, like, you got to be patient. You got to sincerely want to get to know somebody.
Yeah.
Like, if that guy, if one of those people that you were talking about were messaging you and were more respectful, chilled out a bit, and maybe took the time to just kind of get to know you, maybe you'd be more likely to.
Yeah.
And I think I've learned that over time.
Yeah.
What about you? Grew up in Illinois?
No, I grew up in Kansas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Why? Why did you grow up in
Yeah.
What was that like for you in Kansas?
Not great. Not great. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting to hear you talk about growing up in a place where you felt so just isolated. Completely alone. And you know, I grew up pretty Catholic. My school was very anti-gay, so that was a lot of, like, you know, mental confusion and turmoil for me growing up. And I think I kind of had the same mindset of you, where I was like, I have to get out of here in order to be myself. So I moved to Chicago for college. And that was just like, holy shit. It was awesome. And then I was like, oh, I'm a lesbian. I'm a vegan.
That clicked after you moved to college?
Okay, this is the craziest shit that I'm about to drop.
Okay, I'm excited.
So...
Sorry,
that's the girl I'm dating. Let me actually turn it on silent.
We're gonna talk about that.
So you seem like somebody where you're like, you're aware of like therapy terms and whatnot.
Yeah.
Okay, so because I hate talking about this with people where they're just like, I don't get it. So I moved to Chicago from Kansas and spent a year in Chicago, and then the summer I came back to Kansas. It just kind of hit me one day. It was like, oh my God, I'm a lesbian. And then I was thinking more and more. And then a few months later, I had all of these like deeply repressed memories come back that I had completely, like, people don't understand how repressed memories work. Like, and I remembered being 12 and 13 and going online and like chat rooms and Googling, like finding chat rooms for like teens that thought they were gay. And going through all of that, I remember like making a profile picture and being like, I don't want my face in it. Like, I'll just do like my bottom my bottom half of my face, and like chatting with people and being like, I think I'm gay. And I remember praying, because I was very Catholic at the time, praying and being like, God, like, I think I like girls, but like I will never act on this. Like, I will just never act on this. And I remember having a moment with myself of just like, I'm young enough that I don't have to deal with this now. I can put it away in my brain and come back to it when I'm out of this place, because I think it was a self-preservation tactic of, I knew where I was and I knew what that would do. It would like ostracize my family completely. And I mean, just so I literally just forced myself to repress it and completely forgot about it. And then when I was 19, I was like, that's right. We've done this before.
I know so much, obviously. Well, I guess we can get into sexuality, my own later, but on a racial level, I get you. I have a really fucked up bad memory, like from trauma growing up.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you know, I have a head injury.
No.
I'm gonna make this real quick, because the people who listen to this consistently are like, motherfucker, you're gonna tell the same story?
He has a head injury. He forgot he said it before.
It's the fucking head injury over and over. But in short, I was doing street stand-up for a while. I was packed up. I was sitting with my friend. So if you're my friend and I'm me, we're chatting, whatever. Lights out for me. All of a sudden.
Whoa.
So some guy, I guess at some point, was offended by something I said. I don't know what, because I don't know what this guy even looks like. He snuck up from behind me. He hit me. Just trying to like kill me, basically. And then my friend luckily was there, and other people were there. He ran away. I have a huge hospital bill. The end.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Shit happens.
Well, how long ago was that?
This was a little before I moved, so 2020 probably. And then, getting jumped, getting a fair amount of times, dealing with skinheads, getting arrested, things like that. And there's this thing, and I want to, how do I put this? I want to know if you connect with what I'm talking about here. I hate it when people say, well, Aaron, you just got to be yourself. Well, just be yourself. Ignore what everyone else is saying and just be yourself. It's like, especially when you're a kid. As a 32-year-old man, I get that now. I can do that now. But growing up, like, you're too black for the white kids, too white for the black kids. You can't. There's nowhere you feel like you fit in, and everyone just keeps saying, just be yourself. It's like you don't understand the weight of your entire community saying what you are inherently is wrong, and it's so hard to like describe to people who don't get that. I assume that's what it felt like. Yeah,
I mean, I don't, as like a white woman, I don't want to like, well, totally, because I'm sure what you went through was on such a deeper level than me.
I thank you for acknowledging that, but I
do connect with a lot of what you're saying, because there's a point where it's just like, I would love to be myself, but also for my fucking safety, I'm not able to do that right now. And as like a human being, our fucking natural response is to like remain safe and alive.
Assimilate.
Yeah. And so it's like, and it's like when you grow up like that, you kind of, then as an, I don't know, but yeah, I get what you're saying, where it's like.
Well, in it, to speak to the homosexuality part of it, I think that both situations suck in different ways. So on a racial level, that's something you can't hide.
Yeah.
And there is a trauma and a struggle that you're going to inherently experience because you can't hide it. But for homosexuality, it's different. It's a different type of trauma because you can hide it, but inherently doing that pushes it down. You have a memory you can't even remember. It's like it's
because then you're lying to everybody else, and it's so much easier to lie to yourself.
Yeah. But I'm very happy for you that it clicked.
Oh yeah, thank you.
And
I'm happy for you that you're here and that your head is better. And
I'm so happy that you're meeting me now. Because I'm the happiest I've ever been.
That's awesome.
Thank you. Do you feel like you found community as well when you came out here? Was that part of it?
Yeah, for sure. Because I went to art school, so everyone was gay.
Yeah.
Like everybody was gay. My school had this saying called "Gay by May," where they were like, if you're gonna be gay by the time you leave.
As it should
yeah,
be.
and I just think statistically, like, there's so many gay people in the arts and in the in entertainment. So I've always now been around so many gay people that I never feel like the other in any kind of situation.
It feels so nice.
Yeah.
It's like you don't obviously standing out and being an individual, whatever. Oh boy. I just got a flashback of the last podcast. I'll show it to you later.
Okay.
It was woo! We had a long conversation about individualism.
Ooh. I love that.
Oh, Matt, if you watch this,
who was it?
Name here. I'll show you.
I do have a question for you. I want to ask at some point though. That just kind of popped into my head.
If you want to ask it now, while I'm looking them up.
Yeah, this is something that I have been asked a lot that I'm kind of still trying to decide how I feel about. Oh yeah, I know that guy. He's so fucking crazy. He's so funny.
So that's Matthew Doyle Perez.
He's a wild card.
Yeah. He came to the podcast last time, and we have different views on things. We have different views politically, socially. Literally polar opposite.
Oh man.
And so
was the conversation like civil?
Yeah.
That's good.
I would say so. I would say civil and I don't.
Ooh, that's rough. I don't know if I could do that. Good for you.
Thanks. I grew up around having to have those types of conversations all the time. I think I got pretty frustrated by the end, and I said I would spit on the American flag, and that was the whole thing.
Me too.
But
I'd scissor the American flag.
But I don't feel like it's fair to. I don't want to get into it too much, just because it's not fair for him to not have his.
Yeah, since he's not here.
Yeah, if he was physically here to say how he felt, because I don't want to put words in his mouth. So I'll leave it at that. Yeah, we just disagree. He's a very nice guy. I enjoy seeing him at Mike's, and you just. Well, I'm not gonna try to change people's minds. I used to try to be like, no, I'm gonna change the world.
Me too. I would get in screaming fights with people, and then now I'm at the point where it's just like, I will give you access to the information, and then it's up to you.
Yeah, it's almost egotistical to think like, oh, I'm gonna change their mind. Let me.
But I did want to ask you. So in stand-up, this is something I get asked a lot, and I still go back and forth on how I feel about it.
Okay.
So how do you feel when it's made clear to you with lineups that you were booked as a diversity booking? Because people ask me that all the time, because I know I get booked for that reason.
Right. This is going to be interesting.
Okay.
What day is it? It is July 25th.
Ooh, my birthday's in 5 days.
Hey, how old are you going to be?
I'll be 26.
Hey, congratulations.
I lose my health insurance.
It's a different...
Yeah.
Tell me what it feels like when you're in 30. I can't wait. But it is July 25th, 2023. And at this point, I will... Right now, when I get booked, I just appreciate the stage time.
Yeah.
I don't get booked often. And so I've been working also on the... Oh, you ready? Okay, this is going to be all over the place. I look forward to this. I said you wouldn't really like me pre-quarantine. Hearing like how recent you've started stand-up and it seems to be popping for you, I would say pre-quarantine me, even when I first moved here, there would be resentment about that. But why am I not getting books? Like that's how I would react. But now I understand like people go on their own paths. That's just life, So the space I'm in right now is like, look, if you're gonna give me stage time, I'm gonna take it. I'm not gonna complain for it.
That's how I feel. I'm a little piggy. Give me all. I don't care.
Give me the stage time. I'll get on stage. I will kill, and I will show you that you should be booking me outside of that.
Yes, that's how I feel about it. It's just like, if I know I deserve to be in this room regardless, but that's the thing that's getting me in here, then like,
it is
okay.
What it is. Yeah. At a certain point, you just gotta take your wins when you can get them.
Yeah, and I think people want me to be like upset about it, like I should be, but it's just like, no, at the end of the day, like, all we want is to get on stage. So if that's what did it, then like, okay.
Why do you think people want that from you? What is that urge from other people?
I feel like there's a lot of comics that, I don't know if you've heard this, but they're always just like, it should just be about who's funny. Like, it shouldn't be at all about like demographics or stuff like that. But as somebody that books shows, when I'm thinking about booking a show, I'm thinking like, okay, the audience is going to be full of different kinds of people, so I want a diverse lineup that can make the show interesting and connect with different people. I don't want like the same. It's like, yeah, there's a certain type of, straight male stand-up comic that is, and I'm not discrediting a lot of them in the scene. They're fucking hilarious. But if it's like 10 guys all like that, a lot of their material might be exactly the same, So I always think like, okay, and I think about different demographics in terms of like, I want somebody that's like older, I want somebody that's younger, I want a newer comic, like, you know what I mean, somebody and stuff like that, to just make a very interesting, varied lineup. And then other people are just like, nah, man, funny is funny. It's like, it's not that simple,
I think first off, I think comedians are very selfish.
I think it all comes from just like well, I'm not getting booked, so
yeah, that really is, I think,
the core of it.
When you dig through all the
bullshit,
you get down to the core of like, I want to be booked.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
and they think that other people being booked is a barricade to them being booked, when it's like, there is space for all of us at some point, Do
you know Derek Strong?
Yeah.
You would love his episode. We had
I love him.
A whole long discussion about that. But
he's the best.
Yeah, he's so sweet. I'm so glad he's back.
I know, me too. But I'm also worried.
Why?
Because I know he left for like to take care of himself a little bit, and I'm like, I hope that this is like I hope he proceeds in like a healthy way, I'm
gonna say two things. First thing is, he will watch this.
I love you so much, Derek.
Second thing is, he is, based off of what I got from his episode and from just being around him as of recent, I think he is tip top. He's in a.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Again, Derek, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna speak for you right now. He seems to be in a place where he's done with the self-deprecating, like,
that's
pushing
good.
himself down. He's building that confidence. He's building his material again, and he seems happier than ever.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I love that guy.
As far as but the whole, if you're funny, you're funny. That's true. Then if you see a lineup filled with Indian women and they're all objectively funny, then there shouldn't be any complaints, right?
Yeah.
It's, as a producer, it's like, there's only so many angles and perspectives this one group of people's gonna present, and it gets boring. I don't know. You're younger than me. You're young blood. You're young Thundercat.
I'm 2 years old.
But I remember. Do you remember the 90s? When were you born?
97.
Yeah, you're
no, I don't remember that.
No, but I remember, and I think you'll still relate to this. I remember growing up with a complete lack of representation in film and television and cartoons, and feeling like I literally was brainwashed to think that heterosexual white dude in America specifically is the main character of everyone's story.
Yeah.
It puts this in your brain that, like, you're supposed to be in the background. You come in, you say, yo, that's whack, and then you disappear.
Okay, that's a really great line for stand-up. You just said. Is that a bit you have?
No. That was a reference to Not Another Teen Movie.
I was going to say, yo, that's whack. Like, that would be... that'd be a great opener.
It would be great. Yo, wiggity whack. But it was just like, growing up, it was like, man, I'm only seeing this one linear perspective. Yeah. And it's not that the perspective is inherently wrong.
Yeah, exactly. That's like the whole argument I get into. It's just like, no one's saying that, like, you're wrong. Yeah. Yeah, but it's just... It's
frustrating.
Mm-hmm. When you're anything other than that, it's frustrating.
And then to play my own devil's advocate here, it is also frustrating when someone is picked and you ever You ever see somebody where you're like, oh, okay, you're not good at this yet, and you can get there, but right now, okay. Let me channel my inner Derek.
No, I think I know what you're getting at.
That there are times where people are picked as tokens simply for that, and they really aren't funny.
Yeah.
That is frustrating.
No, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
And I think I can save it by speaking anecdotally.
Sure.
I think when I first started, there are a lot of things I got that I think I got way before I was ready. And when I look back on it, I'm honestly pretty embarrassed.
Really?
Because I'm like, I mean, not all the time, but it's like I look back at a few key milestones I had where I was like, hell yeah, bitch. Like, I'm crushing it. And then I look back and I'm like, I was not good enough to have done that show. And I know that. And I know that the bookers knew that. It's just that there's not that many women. There's not that many gay women. And they were like, oh, you know, and
it's complicated. I think.
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, we agree that at the end of the day, if you're funny, you're funny, and diversity as a production man, as someone that's producing, you need the diversity for just the sake of the show. It's
being interesting. Yeah, it's just like making it a more interesting show.
I've come to realize that I like comics, I like individual people, but as a whole, I don't think I'm a fan of comedians. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I like sitting down and talking with you one-on-one because I can.
Yeah.
But when I go to like an open mic, it's
oh my God.
No,
I cannot do it.
It's too much.
Oh no, I know. I know.
What do you experience at it? Like, what is the feeling for you when you're at open mic? When that enveloping, that wave of whatever that is. What can you describe that?
Ooh, okay. Yeah, I mean, at this point, I feel like I only go to like a few select open mics because I'm like, these are safe, you know? Because I don't know, especially with where I'm like, with where my like mind is, it's like if I go to an open mic, there's a joke I want to work. I just want to go. I like want to work a joke for a show that I've coming up. That's it. Mm-hmm. And it's exhausting sometimes to go, and it's like, oh, everyone else is here for a hang, and you feel all these like, it's just, and then I feel rude because I'm not hanging out with people, but it's like, I'm just not trying to be a dick. I just want to go up and do my shit and then go home. Like, this is not a hangout session.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay. To bring it back, to Matthew's episode.
Oh, okay.
We talked about that, where he was like, when I first saw you, he didn't know how to apparently there's a good deal of like open mic level comics who I think perceive me as kind of an asshole because I'll go in the corner and I'll be looking around and I just want to do the thing. That
is not you being an asshole at all. That's you doing your job as a comic. That's infuriating. Sorry, Matt. That's oh my God.
But to give, I feel so, Matt. Thank you for coming on the podcast.
I really like you.
Yes, but he also said like it doesn't, and I agree with him. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it doesn't.
People's perception of me doesn't matter.
But that is frustrating because it's like, it kind of just for me. I'm just like, ugh, oh, I'm gonna be a bitch right now. I'm gonna be a bitch right now.
Go for it.
But sometimes it's just like, oh my God, like do you need like attention from other people that badly that it's like,
it's a lot.
Yeah.
And I've come to a space now where I'm really happy. I think the other reason I'm really happy is I've realized that narrow stand-up stuff is not for me, and I need to do other shit. And I play music. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah, I'm looking at a guitar right now.
Bass, play bass.
That's cool.
And I love hanging out with musicians. Musicians don't feel like comics. Mm-hmm. They have to work together, so there's a chiller vibe there. And I'm working on a short film with Aaron Klein and Rachel Hall.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh, I got to show you the script, and I'm excited about it.
That's awesome.
But I'm doing that, and I'm working with Redescu. Do you know Redescu?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be our camera operator. I got another guy, Jim, who did the podcast, and we're going to work on a film together. And that's a community. Like, everyone needs to work together.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu, there's a community.
Oh, I didn't know you did jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. It's been like 8 months. Yeah.
My brother does jiu-jitsu.
How long's he been going?
Well, he had several head injuries as well, so I don't know. No, he does still do it now. He's been doing it for like ever. Probably like he started in college and he's 32 now, so maybe like 15 years or something.
Your brother's an assassin. I don't know if, do you know?
Well, he was in Korea doing it there for a while. He's very good at I'll show you his Instagram.
Please. Does he live here? Can I talk to him?
No, he lives in Kansas. But I'll connect you.
I would love to talk to him about that because it has been, again, going back to the happiness factor, it has been tremendous in my happiness. Like, I feel...
Oh, that's awesome.
Thank you.
God, it's so cool that you have, like, outlets to make you happy.
Yeah, after I finish the jiu-jitsu bullshit, I want to get into the things that people don't know about you. I learned a little bit about that. But to end the jiu-jitsu stuff, no, like, I've dealt with so much violence growing up that it's having the knowledge that I can defend myself.
Yeah.
That's
really cool.
Yeah. Having that.
That's awesome.
Having, I didn't have healthy female relationships growing up. Like, man, you would hate me if you met me I swear to God, you would hate me. But my relationship with women wasn't healthy. It's gotten much healthier now. And I didn't have male relationships. Like, I had my dad was around, but not like in the head. Wasn't around. And then my grandpa was like my father figure. He was like my guy. And then he died when I was 14, but he had dementia when I was like 12.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was pretty horrific. And so I lost that. And then my only other male figures were fucking crazy white dudes. And that's not good for you. That's never a healthy. Ooh. I'm sure you can only imagine that your male figures, your big brothers, your father figures are all fucked up white dudes. And so I just had this awful relationship with women. And
it's really amazing that you turned out how you did. Because you're like such a nice person. You're so compassionate and empathetic. It's pretty amazing that
Thank you. One day you might see the anger, and I just want to, not on you, but like I'm not going to use jiu-jitsu on people or anything, but like, thank you.
But like, wow, like good for yourself for,
I'm working on it. Thank you.
You didn't have any that's just awesome that you
thanks. But
became better than the people that you were raised by,
Try to do my best. But with the jiu-jitsu, it's like, this is a group of there's women that roll, but it's predominantly guys. Mm-hmm. And I'm not trying to fuck anybody. I'm not trying to, obviously, there's such a brotherhood. When I see these guys in the city, I saw this dude, Mike, just randomly at Redline VR. He doesn't do stand-up, just a jiu-jitsu.
A real person.
Yeah, he's a real human. And I saw him in, my fucking eyes lit up, and we were wrestling. It's like
a deep bond.
It really is. When someone puts you in a choke and you tap and they let you go. It's
damn, that's intense.
It is. And it's like, I wonder what you'll think about this. On a gender sex level.
Sex.
I think boys need... That boys will be boys shit is unhealthy and it's not good.
Oh yeah, for both parties.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
for everybody
girls,
involved.
Yeah,
for everybody.
That. Make them better.
Yeah.
Improve whatever they're doing, improve it. But I would say there needs to be some sort of... When a boy is being a boy or whatever the fuck you want to call it, you need to give that motherfucker some outlets because that shit's going to turn into something horrific. And I think that every single boy everyone should learn how to defend themselves. But to speak to young men, you need fucking focus. There's all of this testosterone that is flowing through you, and it's fucking violent and it's crazy. And I don't think people, I don't think a lot of women have an understanding of that like what it is going on in your head and the violence and the aggression and how to channel that in a healthy way. And have you seen this is going to be an all over the place episode. I love this. I really like talking to you.
No, me too.
But also
your apartment smells really good.
Thank you.
It smells
I don't
really
like
awesome.
things smelling bad.
It smells awesome.
It's all of that shea butter just
Oh, is it shea butter?
Yeah.
It smells really good. It smells like a candle. Do you have a candle lit?
No.
Oh, it smells like you got a candle. All right, sorry. Keep going. Back to testosterone.
but there was this video of a trans man. I don't know if you've seen it. He was crying in it, and
no, I have no idea what you're talking about.
So there's this video. He's a trans dude is passing, big old air quotes, passing, and he was crying. He was talking about how the loneliness that it is to be a man that he didn't comprehend. He didn't realize. Like internally, I want to respect and acknowledge. Like, yep, you feel like a dude, and you pursued that. And now you're living like a dude and you're realizing how lonely, nobody gives a fuck. You can't cry. You can't open up. You building friendship, like that jujitsu shit. Mm-hmm. Most guys don't have that.
Yeah.
Because it's gay. Because you rolling around. Like the amount of guys are like, that's gay. It's like, yo, you don't have friends.
Yeah.
You're lonely.
I do. Yeah. I think I'm getting what you're saying now. Because I feel like with a lot of my friends with guys, will be sharing things, and then one of them will be like, I don't do this with my other friends, and I'm always like, why? And I always get like I do not have this level of intimacy with any of my other male friendships, and it's like, that's sad that you don't have that. And I love my older brother so much, and I always worry that he doesn't have, I mean, he has good friends, but it's like, I hope he knows he can cry. And I've never seen him cry.
Never seen him cry?
No.
Probably never will.
I cry constantly around him. Constantly. He gets so annoyed.
And even to this day, I get annoyed too. I even as progressive as I want to be, as well open-minded, there's this little piece of me that's like, oh, can you just, even when I see the video, I'm like, hey, bro, just man up. And there's this piece of me that's like that, and it's not healthy.
It's not healthy at all, yeah. No, I remember I was with my brother, and I was with my brother, and he took me to this show. I was doing these shows in Austin, and we drove down together, and it was super fun. And then on the drive back, I got food poisoning in the car, and I started throwing up. And after I threw up, he was like, thank God. I thought you were going to start crying.
Okay. We'll get to it. There's so many things. But you came from a classical background.
Yeah, classical theater background.
Can we break that?
Wait, before we get to that, I just want to say, I feel like I was being a bitch earlier when I was talking about open mics. And I just want to touch back on that because I would never want anyone to hear me say that and then be like, oh, I'm not allowed to talk to her if she's at an open mic. Because, I love comics. I love the community. I love open mics. It's just that, sometimes when you're grinding so much, it gets to a point where it's like, all right, I'm not really here to have fun. I'm just, anyway. But I just wanted to say that because I was like, oh, I feel like I've sounded like a bitch.
No, I'm going to add my caveats too. I'm an introvert. I've learned recently that apparently I'm an empath. That's what people told me. Apparently. I don't fucking know. I feel. And when I'm at those mics, when I'm at those shows, I don't know what it's like for other people, but I feel the energy. Yeah,
it can be a very socially draining, anxiety-inducing energy depending on where you're at. But and shows are different. I love shows. Never had a bad time at a show. Love shows. But it's just like the open mic energy that can be a little. We all have different ideas of what the social etiquette is here.
Mm-hmm. And you're dealing with crazy personalities.
Yeah, because anyone can go to an open mic. Mm-hmm. So.
But your classical.
Anyway, yeah. So you were asking me before we did the pod of what are things that I wish people knew about me, and it blows my mind. I never in my life thought that people would not. I always, throughout my whole life, the only constant that I had until now was that I was an actor. My mom put me in plays, commercials. I did modeling when I was a kid. It was always, I was an actor. I did, pre-college intensives at the drama camp. I, moved here for in a theater conservatory. That was always the one thing that I was so certain that would be my entire life. Mm-hmm. And, if you'd asked me when I was 16, what I thought I'd be doing now at 25, I would have told you oh, I'm living in New York. I've written several plays. I'm an actor. I just thought that my life would be theater, that I'd be doing Shakespeare, that I'd be writing. I thought maybe I would go back for a dramaturgy degree. I just thought I would be in that world so much. And I never really had interest in film or television. It was always theater. It was always theater. I wanted to write. I wanted to direct. I wanted to act. And it's just... it's crazy to me to go out in public or just be around other stand-ups, and someone will be like, oh yeah, Claire, did you ever do acting? And I'm like, yes. That was my whole fucking life until like 3 years ago.
Do you want to go back?
It's hard to answer that question because all of my friends that I went to theater school with are all, working actors. I have so many friends that work in the various different fields of having a theater degree. And when I look at their lives, I don't want to, but it's just so much harder than I would think. And I've realized, okay, I love stand-up in a way that I never loved theater. Like, I don't say that I love one more than the other. It's just a different kind of love. And when I think about if I were to pursue theater, I genuinely do not feel like I could do both. Because with theater, it's like you are auditioning during the day. You have rehearsals at night. You can't really hold a job because you have to send in these auditions during the day. And then just looking at my friends that are in theater, they'll be telling me these things they're auditioning for, and I'll be like, what's the pay? And they'll be like, yeah, it's 6 weeks. I get a $450 stipend for rehearsal. It's like 3 hours of rehearsals every night. And they'll tell me that. And it's like, I think that stand-up doesn't pay. And then I'll hear that and I'll be like, I'm good. Right now I work part-time and then do stand-up, and I can pay my rent that way. Like that's, and I think about what I'd be giving up, and I just don't think it's worth it.
I'm with you. I too, I didn't bring this up when we first started talking about it, but I also wanted to be an actor too.
Yeah. I see that for you.
Oh, really? Why?
Yeah, I do.
Why? I'm curious.
Well, you're a very charismatic guy. Yeah. You're very charismatic. You're very smart.
Oh, thanks.
You just seem like you'd be an actor.
I wanted it so bad. I remember, so to go back to my childhood and bullshit, the 90s, if you're a little black boy, you have to play basketball. Those are the rules. And when I went into high school, I remember I saw my first first musical.
Oh, wow. Do you remember what it was?
Bye Bye Birdie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Get ready for a story.
Okay.
So I watched Bye Bye Birdie, and it was high school. It was my fellow peers. I was a freshman, and my fucking soul lit up. Like, I know what you mean. There's you wanted to, like, I get when you're like, you weren't interested in film because there is no.
It's totally different. It is totally different.
Please, the people don't get that when you're filming something. There's a lack of momentum.
Yes, that's it. There's no momentum. You're doing it all out of order. You just It just like, I mean, I did film acting, and it's just like you go up there, you say it, you don't get to. It's so selfish, but you don't get to feel it. Yeah. You know.
Yeah. And stand up, you do.
Yes.
There's a rhythm. Yes.
Yeah. Every time you get to go on stage and connect.
I think maybe we had a little resurgence of respect of live performance during quarantine, during lockdown, because. I'm sure you remember Zoom mics, if you ever did them.
I did maybe 3 Zoom shows.
My God. It was the most depressing shit. But I watched Bye Bye Birdie, and I was super excited. And I was like, I'm going to make a thing.
Yeah.
And, when you watch, and it just makes you want to make it too.
Yes. It just like awakens something inside of you.
Yeah, this is where the story is going to get a little darker, a little
okay.
sadder.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
Yeah, life is better now. And I'm going to do this in the least mean, bitter way possible, but I'm very upset with if I'm being honest, to this theater teacher. I won't say her name.
She's a bitch.
She really is.
Oh, God. Okay.
Well, I'm trying not to divulge.
Yeah, not to be too specific.
Not to be too trying. One of my favorite movies at the time was Friday. I don't know if you've ever seen Friday.
Mm-mm.
It's a movie. It's. Do you know who Ice Cube is?
Yeah.
Okay. It was Ice Cube's first film. No. Technically, it was Boys Night. Regardless, it was a comedy. And those movies that kind of take place the bottleneck, like they're one kind of general area.
Yeah. I think I know what you're talking about.
I'm gonna show you Friday.
Okay.
Real quick. Friday. This is the vibe. It's Ice Cube. It's Chris Tucker.
Okay.
Yeah, they're in the hood, and it's like it's a, God damn it. There you go. It's a very it's a black film, And I got excited, and I had it in my head because I kept being told that race doesn't matter, Aaron. You got to be colorblind. It doesn't matter. And so I got excited.
That's what your theater teacher taught?
That's what everyone growing up. And so if I got told that I was that Black History Month was racist and shit because there's no White History Month. I know.
Yeah.
That's what I got told. And so I'm being brainwashed by these people. Things are happening to me, and every time I express that, they're like, well, Aaron,
there's like gaslighting you so bad.
Every day.
Yeah.
Every day. And so
it's like a mirror. I just don't know how you're not fucking pissed off every day.
Meditation, jujitsu, exercise, friends now. I used to be a very angry person. With
good reason to be.
Thank you.
You know,
Thank you. And I do think I had good reasons. And moving here was eye-opening because it was my first time truly leaving all of that.
Yeah.
And I found out what wasn't my fault, and I found out what was.
Ugh.
There was that. That's why I think I'm a little less angry at everyone because, there is some stuff I needed to take Sorry, my bad. I needed to take responsibility for, and specifically with women. Like when I moved out here, that first year was me fucking up and making an ass of myself, in my opinion, and learning oh, okay, this is what happened in Riverside. This is what's happening in Chicago. And this is out of my control. I didn't do anything wrong here, and I know that. Mm-hmm. Nobody twisted my arm to make me do this or to talk to this person or to say this, and that was my fault. And so that's where that kind of balance comes in. But regardless.
It's just very cool that you have that level of self-awareness.
Thank you. I'm learning how to take compliments as well. Friday.
Oh, yeah.
So I typed out the script of Friday, but as a play. It was probably really
cool.
shitty looking, but in my head I was like, this takes place on a porch in a street.
Yeah, you could do it as a play.
You could do it as a play. I went to an all-white high school, basically all-white theater, and I brought this play to my theater teacher. I must have been about 14, 15. Okay. And I'm so excited. I'm like, art and theater. And so I show, and I hate.
Oh God.
Whoa. She starts making fun of me, and she tells all the students that, look, at Aaron tried to steal the script to Friday and present it as his own. It's
no,
like,
you
bitch,
didn't.
No,
no,
I
you didn't. No, you didn't.
And I couldn't, no one's going to listen to me. No one ever listened to me. So no one's going to listen to me. And it was the first, it was like.
What a fucking bitch.
Yeah. What are you going to do?
If you're this woman, you're a fucking bitch.
She's a chain smoker. She's probably dead anyway. But.
I hope she's alive so I can fucking tell her she's a bitch.
But it was this first realization.
God, that's just so, having a teacher humiliate you like that.
It was really,
God.
It was really upsetting. Really, really upsetting. And this didn't stop there. I would try to make movies. Same reaction. And I was the only one.
It's just, you could have that could have changed your life in a positive way, but she had to go and fucking shit all over it.
Yeah, it's not even just her.
And
it's
just
the
be
students,
a terrible
it's
person.
The other it was a really horrific experience. And then, in terms of tattoos, I'll tell you this story in a second, but I want to hear more about you. So
no, I need you. You need to finish the story.
oh, you want to hear about?
Yeah,
okay.
I want to hear it. Yeah, keep going.
So I go through high school, just fighting to get into plays or to act or to make a film or to do something creative, to have an outlet. And this is why I keep insisting that young men need outlets. We can't, and I didn't have any guidance, and a lot of that energy started, in my opinion, getting dark and being focused on girls. So I was like, all this charisma was like, well, if I can't perform on stage, then I'm going to try to get girls to like me. And that is a really not good place to start with your sense of relationships.
Or just a sense of self-worth.
Yeah, awful. It was awful. My whole at a certain point, my whole identity became, can I get women to want to fuck me? Uh-huh. And it's fucking embarrassing now, but it just is what it is, I guess. But I go through all of that. I was doing improv too, and that was a whole other discussion. But I got to my senior year of high school, and we had the theater. This theater competition at Cal State Fullerton.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Well, Starts off.
Oh, okay. Fuck.
Yeah. 4 years of white. And then my buddy joined theater, and he came from basketball. We played basketball together when we were kids. Then he jumped into the theater mode, and so it was like short scenes or whatever. And we pick a scene from Top Dog Underdog. I don't know if you know Top Dog Underdog.
Oh wait, I do. Yeah.
Oh,
Two
so
of my
happy.
classmates did that in college. If this is what I'm thinking of, it's like the two brothers.
Two brothers, Lincoln and Booth.
Yes. Two of my good friends, Ajax and Lucas, did it, and it was so cool. They would do one scene as the brothers, and then they would switch roles and go back and forth between the brothers. Very cool. Very cool. They're very talented.
Thank you so much for knowing that fucking play.
Yeah, it's a classic.
It's
horrifying just thinking about it. Oh my god,
I'm so
it's all
glad
coming
you know what I'm
back
talking
now.
about.
Yeah,
okay.
There's so much packed into it.
So you have
so
context.
good. Yeah.
When I tell people this story, they don't realize like how fucking crazy the play actually is.
It's a fucked up
Crazy.
play. Oh my god.
We're 17.
Oh, you did it because we did it in college, and that's
fucked up.
It's fucked up.
And I played Lincoln, he played Booth. And so we do.
Remind me, which one is the
Lincoln's the older brother who was good with the cards. Booth is the younger brother who's trying to be the top.
Got it. Okay.
And we do this. We work on it. Like it was the first time.
Oh, that's such a meaty role to work on too.
I learned how to do the shit for it. And I was so excited. This is before I smoked weed, so like I had energy, and I was so excited. It meant so much to me because it was the first time we could do something that nobody else could do.
Yeah.
And we go to the competition, and this was 2009.
Okay.
So there's no smartphones. There's no like social. Well, there's smartphones, but not the way it is now. And we do our scene, and we get our notes back. You've been an actor before. Mm-hmm. Especially in high school, what type of notes do high schoolers usually get in acting? Honestly.
I'm trying to think about mine. Normally, the basic things about keeping your light, speak up, you jumped that person's line. Mm-hmm. It didn't seem like you were listening in this moment. You seemed distracted.
Cheat out.
Yeah, cheat out. You swallowed yourself with the second line. Mm-hmm. A lot of stuff like that. Because at that point, if you're already in the performance stage, the notes are more nitpicky rather than just being like, what do you think you want here? Yeah. That's more like rehearsal stage.
So we get our notes back, and we didn't move on to the next part of the competition. Our friends did, and I love them to death. They kept going. Good for them.
What play were they doing? Do you remember?
It was it was a comedy, and it was a bunch of world leader dictators all playing Monopoly together or something.
I don't know if I know it. Doesn't sound familiar. Sounds boring. Sounds not as interesting as what you did. Okay.
Oh, thank you. But this was a big deal. This is a really big deal. Do you know Matthew Lillard? He was Shaggy and.
Yes.
So he was not our judge, but he was there.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was like it was my peek into what this industry really is gonna be like. We get our notes back, and our notes said we didn't act black enough. We were acting too white. We were being too Disney. We were not being ghetto enough. We weren't being hood enough. We were so on and so forth. We weren't talking black enough. I'm sure you can imagine what the judges looked like.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, that's.
I was furious. I wish I still. I think I.
That's
ripped
insane.
Up the paper. Yeah. This is 2009. So, yeah, and I.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I was furious. I wish I saved that paper.
I wish you would have too. Yeah. Fuck.
But
you have to. Oh my god.
I think I ripped it up. I was furious.
Yeah, and fucking spit on it.
And
that's insane.
Yeah.
It bothers me so much how theater is still just so run by crusty old white men.
It really is, and they don't. To go back to representation, it made me realize this is how they perceive.
Yeah, they don't know.
Right. As far as they're concerned, being black is whatever their preconceived notions are.
And just the audacity to think that they know the barometer of what that even is.
It's crazy. And even if that was what they were thinking, tell me to cheat out more. Don't tell me.
Yeah.
But it is what changed my perception of acting forever. I still did it, but in my head,
I'm just because thinking of that play, I'm what did they want? I don't know what they would have wanted from you.
For me not to sound the way I sound. like, because that's also something I got growing up. You're talking too white or whatever. I know. What are you gonna do? And so I was furious. But life goes on, and I found.
Did you get your notes like in front of other people, or were they like was like a private score sheet or something?
It was a sheet. If they didn't talk to us directly.
Oh God. Okay.
I don't know what I would have done if they talked.
Yeah, if they said that in front of everybody.
But we got those notes, and
was your scene partner like just as fucking furious?
Matt. Second. That's his name. I'm not talking about Matthew Doyle Perez. Matt, my friend, my scene partner, is a calmer. He had a better upbringing than I did, so he was a little calmer. I was the loud, angry one. He was the one who would calm me down. Still, literally, I love you, Matt. Still to this day.
Oh, you guys are still friends?
Still friends. He's gonna potentially edit this short film.
Oh, cool.
He's an editor in Hollywood now.
That's really cool.
Yeah. But that was when stand-up started to become interesting to me. Mm-hmm. I was like, well, nobody can...
Because you're like, no one can tell you.
No one can tell you what to do. No one can tell you
or that
how
you did
to
it
act.
wrong.
Mm-hmm. And then, to get to the tattoo. So, time goes on, and then around, I think it was 2015, do you give a fuck about Star Wars?
No, I don't.
Perfect. Neither did I.
I don't.
Don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I just don't really care about most sci-fi stuff.
It's not, same. Unless it's like ground, like Ex Machina or like.
Oh, yeah, that's a great movie.
I don't like sci-fi fantasy. I like grounded sci-fi that feels like, ooh, that could really exist. But here, I'm going to bring up a thing. So.
Let me check the time, too.
Yeah, it's 2:52 right now.
All right, good. I've got to head out in like 20 minutes if that works.
Okay. Oh, it makes me sad. We should do another episode.
Oh, wait, no. The girl I'm dating just texted me that she...
Can we make a fake name for her? So we, like... Tony?
Tony.
Okay. So, yeah, fuck my story. I'll tell you about that shit later. Tony. Oh, you texting?
Wait, sorry. Yeah, I got
no. Look at her eyes as she lights up.
Sorry, okay. She was saying I'm going to be there... Sorry.
You're good.
We're going on a date after this.
My podcast is very much this. It's very sloppy. It just is what it is.
We're going on a date.
How are you feeling? Like, is this your
first?
Is this your first like real meaty relationship?
Oh God, no.
Okay.
No. Wait, sorry. The tattoo first, and then we'll get to that.
I'll tell you when the camera's off, for real.
Oh, okay.
They want to know about you. You're the one on camera. No one gives a fuck about me.
That's not true.
No, thank you. But this relationship, this date.
No, it's very new.
Okay.
So new. No, I've had a few very serious girlfriends. Like my last girlfriend. Oh my God, I feel like I talk about this on every podcast I've done. My last girlfriend, we were super serious. She was significantly older than I was. We lived together. It was like, and then pretty nasty breakup. I broke up with her. And
but now we have
Tony. And then it can't be Tony because the one time in my life that I ever dated a guy, his name was Tony, which we're very good friends now. I love you, Tony. Brandy, yeah.
Okay, Brandy.
I'll just say her name
if you want to.
I mean, she's not gonna listen to this. She doesn't have any social media, but I just don't want to seem like a psycho because it's very new. It's very new. This is our second date. Her name's Erin. Oh wait, that's your name.
E-R-I-N?
Yeah, I forgot that was your name.
That's crazy. Okay, Erin.
Yeah, E-R-I-N.
Erin.
Yeah.
So how did you meet Erin?
Okay, so this was like 2 weeks ago. I was hosting, so just to clarify, I do not date. I'm not a casual dater. I've gone on, if I go on a date with somebody and there's no connection, it's just like, that's it. I don't have any of the apps. I don't seek it out. I've always just been like, I'm not looking for it, but if I meet somebody, then all right. And so I was hosting the 9 p.m. Laugh Factory show. It was a Saturday. It was fucking Saturday night, 9 p.m. there. It's fucking full, packed, standing room only, fucking full, the balcony's full, awesome. I'm hosting, I'm doing my thing. I'm wearing a cute shirt and, running around. And honestly, I was crushing. I was on fire. I had a really great set that night, I will say. and then after the show, everyone, they had like the 11 p.m. right after, so they were like, as the host, I was like, guys, like, we love you so much, peace and love, but like, we have 15 minutes to turn the room over, so get the fuck out. So everyone's like rushing out, and it was, you know, the mayhem when they're fucking turning the room over, trying to start the next show. And so I was in the theater, like helping the staff like clean up all the cups and stuff to reset. And then this girl comes up to me and she was like, hey, like, I don't want to like bother you, but like, you're so funny up there, you killed it, like, you're so cute, like, I was wondering, like, do you want to go on a date with me? And it was very forward. It wasn't like no pussyfooting around of like, do you want to get coffee, do you want to hang out? She's like, do you want to go on a date with me? And I loved the boldness, and I was like, yeah. And I was like attracted to her. I was like, yeah. And then I was like, oh yeah, can I get your Instagram? And she was like, I hope this isn't a red flag, I don't have any social media. And I was like, that's awesome. So I gave her my number, and then we texted for a while, and then we went on a date, and we talked for 3 hours, and we made out outside.
So, and you're going, this is your second
Yeah,
date?
this is our second date, yeah.
Okay. So how long has it been since that first one again?
Like a week.
Like a week. Okay.
Yeah, we've been like texting since then. And I would have liked to like have it be sooner after the first date, but I just had a really busy week, so this was the only thing that worked for me.
And what is it about this person, at least right now, so far, is so, what is it about? Like, you were lit the fuck up as of right now.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You seem so happy.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on?
I mean, I don't want to like get too excited about it, you know, because it's like we still don't really know each other, but it's just kind of funny because I had just been saying, one of my best friends is Tyler Fowler. I know you know him. And I had told him for months, I was like, I'm done. I'm not dating. I'm so done. Like, I will never find anybody. Like, Shrimp is going to be alone forever. And he
Shrimp?
was, that's my nickname.
Oh,
that's what he calls me.
Okay.
And he was like, no, like, I don't want that for you. And I was so like, I will never find anybody that will get my level of, because I'm like a weird person. Like, I'm weird. I slept in a hammock by choice for like a year. I chase rats on the street. Like, I'm kind of weird. And I was like, I'll never meet anybody that will like me. And so on our first date, I was just like totally myself. I was like, I love rats. And I told her about the hammock, and she's very cool. She's very opposite from me, which all my other partners have been people that are very similar to me. And it's attractive to me, the idea of dating somebody that is so different, that we will have different points of view. She's very introverted, very shy. She kept being like, oh my God, I worry I'm not talking enough. And I was like, bitch, I'm talking way too much. Like, I'm bulldozing you. Please say something. But she's doesn't have any social media, doesn't know anything about the stand-up world, which is awesome. She's very into like hiking, nature, animals, real things. She listens to like old bands like The Cure and Bruce Springsteen, and like likes old movie stars like Sally Fields and Jane Fonda and stuff. And it's like just interesting to talk to somebody that I don't have that much in common with, but I'm like, hearing all of her interests is interesting to me, if that makes any sense. I think that was a really long answer.
No, it makes perfect sense. Did you find yourself, prior to this person, did you find yourself acting like someone else? Because it sounds like you went into that date as raw and pure.
Yeah, because I was like, I will never see her again if this doesn't work out. So like, I really don't give a fuck. I'm just gonna like be myself. And I had gone on a date because I had not dated like since my ex. I was just like, I'm done. And I went on one date with a girl a few weeks ago, and there was just no vibes there, struggling for conversation the whole time. We sit down, and she's a very nice girl, but it was a similar situation. She was an audience member that asked me out, and then on the date, she was like, oh yeah, I just started stand-up. I'm open micing. And I was like, in my mind, I was like, oh no.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But you have this.
Yeah. I am excited to see where it goes. I think we both, like each other, and I think we both have the same mindset of neither of us really date casually or have dated in a long time, so it doesn't seem like it's...
Do you have to leave soon?
I should probably leave... Oh, wait. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. She texted me again.
You're good.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Did she, coffee?
No, she was like, do you want to just let me know when you leave the podcast place, and then I'll head to you. That's perfect. I got like 20, 25 more minutes if that works.
That does work. Then I will finish the rest of this story, and then I will ask you a question about all of that, and then we'll wrap it up.
Oh my God, I could talk to you forever. I want this to be like 3 more hours.
I've had people do round 2s.
You're such a good conversationalist.
Thank you. This is my domain. Like, to go back to the whole open mic stuff and shows, like I come off like a weirdo because this, in terms of energy, right? Like just feel people's vibes.
Yeah.
I can manage 1 or 2, but if I'm in a room filled with different, it's just too much. But this tattoo. So Star Wars. Time goes by, life happens, whatever. And the trailer for Force Awakens comes out.
I don't know it.
Force Awakens. So you don't know anything.
I don't know shit about Star Wars or Star Trek or.
So
I don't
quick
know.
TLDR, quick summary.
What does TLDR stand for?
Too long didn't read.
Too long
didn't read.
Oh, okay.
So quick summation. 70s, early 80s, the original Star Wars blows up. Luke, I'm your father.
Is that when the siblings made out?
Yeah, they didn't know.
That's the only thing I know about Star Wars.
Really?
Yeah.
Regardless, it's famous. Right?
Yeah.
Then around, I think it was 1999, the prequels came out. There was another trilogy. Whatever. Then another, since 99 till 2015. It had been a long time. And found out like Star Wars is coming back. And that's a really big deal for most people.
Okay.
I don't know, whatever the equivalent for you would, like, picture the movie that you've always wanted to, like, this big, it was the biggest fucking thing you can imagine. And the trailer comes out, and the protagonist was a female named Rey.
In Star Wars?
Uh-huh.
God, I don't know anything about Star Wars.
Yeah,
okay.
and the newest ones.
Oh, okay.
People were mad.
Oh. People fucking get mad about.
Then another main character, who was playing a stormtrooper, which is like a military.
Yeah,
character.
yeah, I know like some of that bullshit. Yeah. Sorry.
You're good,
like the Chewbacca.
Yeah, the Chewbacca.
Okay.
I hope Star Wars.
The gold man.
The gold, yes.
Yeah. And then the little beep bop thing. The little beep bop. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've seen like scenes from it. Yeah.
So this dude is John Boyega. Do you know John Boyega?
Mm-mm.
Okay, he's an actor. He very, very talented actor. Hold on, I want to show you his face because I'm sure you recognize him. I hope this is entertaining for whoever's listening. I know we're just talking, but it is.
Wait, I've seen this guy in other stuff.
Very good.
What else has he done?
Have you seen Attack the Block?
No. Can I look at? Can I hold this?
Please. Do you like movie nights?
I love movie nights.
Can we do a movie night?
Yes.
Please?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
We'll watch Ex Machina.
Yeah. Oh, fuck yeah.
Because I love that movie.
Do you? Okay. Ooh.
Where else have I seen him?
We'll talk when we stop recording. But he's a great actor. Great actor. I'll wait till you're satisfied.
Oh, I think I saw him on SNL.
Really?
Yeah.
That's probably during the Star Wars.
Because I was like, didn't I see him in a comedy? But then I saw he did it. Okay, sorry, keep going.
So, this trailer comes out. Movie hadn't come out.
Okay.
And it's a black stormtrooper and a female lead, and these nerds lose their shit. Furious.
Things are different.
Yeah.
I'm so mad.
There's no niggers in Star Wars. That's what they would say. Why is there some bitch with a lightsaber? Like, people are fucking
what the fuck?
Furious. Mad.
That sounds like the Little Mermaid backlash.
Yeah. It's been going on for forever. You just can't win.
God, what is wrong with people?
White dudes in particular, because that's who. I think it's power seductive, and whether they realize they have power or not, losing it is scary.
Yeah, it's like they think the inclusion of other voices diminishes their own. Mm-hmm. It's like, bitch, no.
Yeah. So
that was never the fucking.
You're not gonna win. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So I go to see the movie, and it's a movie. I didn't give a fuck about Star Wars. Whatever. And I watched it.
I don't give a fuck what's wrong.
I watched it, and let me reset the.
Ooh, cool.
So I go to see the movie, and is there a film that ever changed your life? Like when you watched it, you were like, whoa, or play,
yeah,
or play.
yeah. I've had a lot of movies and plays that have done that for me.
So was there on a lesbian level, was there a film or a movie that I'm curious actually?
There a play that stays with me to my core that's based on a true story is the Laramie Project.
I know that. Why do I know that?
It's about Matthew Shepard. It's devastating.
Yeah.
It hit on a different level for me because Fred Phelps is included in it, and I grew up with his family, like the Westboro Baptist Church. I grew up in Westboro.
We
so
need
I
to
knew
do a
all
round
of
two
them,
of this. I didn't know. I can't believe. Okay.
But I remember reading it freshman year, right before I came out. We read it in class, and there's something different when you're reading the lines of a bigot that you have met, where it's just like, yeah. And it's the play, like as a theater person, you need to read the play if you have it. You might have. It's very famous.
I believe it.
But basically, it's about like the aftermath of his
death,
because Matthew Shepard was a guy that was gay bashed to death. And
for context, can you explain to whoever's listening that doesn't know about Matthew Shepard? Can you explain that?
Yeah, Matthew Shepard was a gay man that was.
What year was it? 2000.
Fuck. Oh God, I'm gonna seem ignorant now. I don't know what year
I'll look
it was.
up while you're explaining.
Yeah,
it.
Matthew Shepard was horrifically gay bashed, and it led to his death, and he died. And
1998.
And he was targeted for being a gay man, and it was devastating, and just horrifying that things like that happen. And so the play was like the aftermath of talking to community members about it, and it's a very, it's theatrically genius when you read the play, the way they organized the conversations, I guess, because it's one of those plays where I always would have loved to see it in a black box with every character sitting on a chair, and you just do a spotlight on each person when they say their lines, and there's no actual acting. It's just like spotlight, line. Do you hear what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I always was like, that would be really cool, because in that play, like, the words are everything. That's really all you need. And I remember reading that and just like oh my God, I'm gonna cry, but just like the feeling in my stomach of just how sad it was that this was a real thing that happened, but then how because it became a piece of art, now it can change so many people's lives for the better and educate them. And I was somebody that was able to connect with it and feel it on such a deep level that I'm horrified that it happened, but I'm I think it's beautiful that they were able to make something positive out of something so horrific.
I'm with you.
I'm crying. It's just such a sad play.
No, I'm with you.
And such a horrible thing that happened to such a beautiful guy with his whole life ahead of him.
So that passion,
that play, yeah,
that play, that
me.
feeling that you have.
Oh,
when I watched Force Awakens, I had never seen a movie where someone looked like me, that acted like me, that sounded like me, that behaved kind of like me. Like, this wasn't like back in high school. He's not being. Why isn't he shooting the laser from sideways? Like, he's not being. I couldn't believe. I had never seen anything like it, and it was so important to me that I got his stormtrooper number.
Oh my God.
And you know how tattoos, when you connect them, like, as you get older, your tattoos almost mean different shit.
Yes. Yeah.
You change and things change.
You assign different memories and meanings to them.
And this is my favorite. I have others. We can talk about them off the
I'm
thing.
so glad that you had that moment with that.
Were
you alone when you saw it?
No, I wasn't.
Did you cry?
You'll see. You'll see. You'll see. So when dedicating a tattoo to a character or a person in some way, you're kind of rolling the dice, because you don't know. Like, if it was like 93 and I got a Cosby tattoo.
I know what you mean. Yeah, I got a tattoo for the movie Donnie Darko, and I remember getting it and being like, if Jake Gyllenhaal turns out to be an asshole, then I am fucked.
Yeah. And
I do think I've heard that he's kind of weird, but
he seems. Whatever.
I don't know.
He doesn't. To my knowledge, he hasn't raped anybody, so that's good.
Good.
But I got that tattoo, and then time happened, and then George Floyd was killed. Now, you had your time to cry. Get ready, because that will probably happen for me. I'm going to play this for you. This was during the protest. This was John Boyega during the protest. So this is, this is him putting his entire career on the line. We probably won't watch the whole thing because it's 4 minutes and 44 seconds. Pretty long. But just to get a sense of how he was during the protest, this is it. It goes on.
Yeah.
We want to talk about tears. It goes. I cannot watch that clip without tearing. I can't. I just can't, because he didn't have to do that. He didn't have to put his life and career on the line like that. He didn't have to. He could have stayed in a. I'm sure he made a lot of money from Star Wars. He could have stayed in a mansion and shut the fuck up. But he's out there in a hoodie with fucking fingerless gloves for no reason, and with a blowhorn, and it's so indescribable, and it's so frustrating. And this is where I find myself over and over getting into these same conversations with white people, where I'm like, you don't get, it's exhausting. It's exhausting to not live your life uninterrupted, and to see this guy who had the dream, our dreams. Can you imagine being, not Star Wars, but you're the person. Disney gave you a contract. You have all this money. You're acting. You get all the roles that you want, and to be like, yeah, fuck that. This is way more important. It just means everything to me. So this is probably my favorite.
I was gonna say, that's so beautiful that you got that tattoo, and then that. Yeah. He like totally reinforced the meaning behind it with that.
This tattoo means so much to me.
If you ever got to meet him, what do you think you'd say? Have you thought about it?
I don't know. I
hope you get to meet him someday. I really do.
So do I. I would love to. This industry and this past few years of being here has changed my perception of fame and people with fame.
Yeah.
I'm understanding. If you're not in performance industry, it feels like famous people aren't people.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
And then you work with some of them, and you're like, oh,
you're human.
Yeah.
Yeah. This will be my one name drop. So I got to hang out and meet Anthony Jeselnik.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I was. Rachel Hall was opening for him back in December in Comedy on Stage, and I just tagged along, and I was hanging out with him in the green room for like a long time.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and Rachel made sure to be like, Aaron, don't get weird. And I was like, okay, I won't get weird. And when I first walked in, I in the green room, when it was like, they were like, yeah, let him on, that's fine. When I walked in, there was a little bit of like, oh, shit, I was a kid watching you on Comedy Central growing up. This is weird.
Yeah.
And then he said some shit I disagreed with, and I didn't say anything, but in my head I was like, oh, nigga, you wrong. What? Mm-hmm. and then immediately after that, it was very human to me. He stopped being Anthony Jeselnik, and he was just Anthony. And I talked to him in the green room, very sweet, the exact opposite of his stage persona. Not the exact opposite, but very different from his stage persona. And it really, I think it was a healthy experience. Because now when I meet other people that I look up to or that are of fame or that I want like to get booked with or whatever, I now understand like chill, they're a person, it's fine.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, I don't know. I think I would try to be chill, and then if I built enough rapport, I would then geek out.
Would you show him the tattoo? You have
not
to.
Immediately, not
You'd
at
have
first.
to.
Not at first, because he kind of doesn't like that role.
Oh, okay.
The studio fucked him. If I cared about Star Wars and I got this tattoo, I'd be furious because they fucked that character. Like the first movie was great, and then the second movie was like, ugh, what are you doing with him? And by the third movie, I was like, just don't even put him in the movie. This is trash. But so he feels like kind of whatever about it. I'd probably show him after some rapport.
Okay.
To get to my last little question, and then
we are running a little.
Yeah.
Okay.
My last little question. What would you like to say to yourself 5 years from now? This is about your current dating of Erin, dating Erin, where you are in comedy, where your head is at.
5 years from now?
5 years from now, what do you want to say to
I'll
yourself?
be 30.
You'll be 30.
Oh my God, I'll be 30, almost 31.
Okay, can we say it to the camera because we gotta?
Yeah. Let me think. Okay. What I want to say to myself 5 years from now. God, that's so. There's so much to unpack there. And I just say it to the camera?
Yeah. You're saying it to you. This is you now.
This feels
5
like
years
such
from
a
now.
therapy tactic. Okay, so I'm talking to myself.
You're talking to yourself, yeah.
Hey Claire, you fucking old ass bitch. It's me. I'm 25, almost 26. You are 30, almost 31. I really hope that you have health insurance right now. Like you don't have any other option but to have figured it out by that point. And I'm sorry that I didn't figure it out earlier. But I hope you have health insurance. I just want you to know, like, we are somebody that has a lot of goals, and if you haven't met any of them, that's okay. I think you're doing a great job regardless. Please don't get any more stupid tattoos. If you're not dating any women, if you're alone, that's okay. Your parents didn't meet till they were in their mid-30s. If you don't have any savings, that's okay. We don't have any now, and we're doing okay. So just like, I just want you to know, if we haven't met any of the goals that we wanted to meet, you still have all the time in the world. And I think you're crushing it.
All right, well, we'll end it there. Let's take this picture.
Okay.